Lions are sending Matthew Stafford to play for the Rams, who will trade Jared Goff back to Detroit.
In hindsight, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me for my career.
My family loves it here. I love playing here. It's a blast.
If you're going to grade that trade, win-win?
It kind of worked out for both sides there.
My rookie year, I played 7 games and I was 0-7. I lost every single one of them. And you learn from it. You get better the next year and you come out and you play better the next year. And then like I mentioned, 2 years later,
Sean McVay comes in. It's a rocket ship. This thing takes off, right? Like you're lighting it up. This offense is revolutionary.
Go to the Super Bowl and you're on the top of the world, and then it doesn't go your way. You don't play well, your team doesn't play well, you don't win. And you kind of got to build yourself back up again.
Even those last couple of years, like after the Super Bowl, it's like didn't make the playoffs, but then made the playoffs.
In 2020, we won the wild card game, we lose in the divisional round.
You probably think you're going to play there a long time, or maybe the rest of your career, you know?
And then I didn't have any contact with anybody about, I don't know, 2 weeks later. Then I'm traded.
Jared Goff had 42 wins since 2016. He's tied for second most in the NFL. And they still say, get out. We want somebody to take us to the next level.
Because they said
I wasn't aware that that was a possibility, or that's something that, you know, they were thinking about. You know, I wish there would have been some conversations that weren't had. There wasn't much conversation had with me.
And I'm not going to act like adding Jared Goff is not going to get us our first Super Bowl. That ain't happening.
Jared Goff stinks. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so it was confusing, it was hard.
When I was drafted there in 2009, all I ever wanted to do was have a Super Bowl parade down Woodward Avenue and bring the Lions a Super Bowl trophy. It's
12 years there. There were some highlights, but 8 losing seasons, really beaten up mentally, physically.
had some great times there, some great years, played with unbelievable teammates and for great coaches. But I don't know, I just feel like
quarterback Matthew Stafford is not expected to return to the Lions this offseason, with Detroit now listening to trade offers around the league. And despite putting up great numbers, Stafford has, as you know, never found success in the postseason. He's 0-3.
I wanted the best for both of us, and I felt at that point the best thing for both of us was to seek a trade and try to get as much as they could for me. You know, nothing's guaranteed, obviously, but a team that was maybe a little bit closer to immediate success than they were going to be coming in with a new GM and a new head coach and a bunch of new players.
defensively, they're not good. This is elite. I mean, this is all, I mean, they got a crew of dudes on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, what were we waiting to see? Matthew Stafford.
Going into that first game, I mean, I was confident what we were going to be able to do, but there's a lot of unknowns.
He's going to air it out. Deep downfield. Has a man open, and it's caught at the 15-yard line by Van Jefferson. And he gets up and rumbles to the end zone.
321 yards passing, 20 of 26, 3 TDs, not a single interception. We know what he could do, but he was in Detroit. Now he's here in Los Angeles.
It was great to have a great first game like we did as a team and take that confidence, kind of let it build.
Stafford, end zone, touchdown, it's Cup.
I play this game to try and win Super Bowls, and that's what I want to do. I would love to have the opportunity to play in that game as many times as I possibly can from here on out. The big picture early is overwhelming, you know, and I just knew I had so many things to learn in this offense, so many people to learn, so many things to learn about this place, that if I thought about that every day, there's no way I'd be able to keep up with the rest of it. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for what Jared was able to do here. I know this was a Super Bowl team a couple years ago.
There wasn't much communication, so it came as a shock. And then as soon as I talked to Brad and Dan, which was that night, it flipped very quickly into like, wow, what an opportunity I have here to be on the ground floor of something so special and something that could be, you know, what we hope to build this into, which is Super Bowl champ. And
Jared, I can't say enough about his resiliency. He had some rough patches. He had some adversity that he had to fight through.
We knew it was going to be a hard road.
Yeah.
And we knew we were going to need some things to go our way in 21, because otherwise it was just going to be hard. And as long as we could just stay confident, keep building, keep developing. When you lose the number of games we did and the guys come back in on Wednesday, like nothing happened. Like, man, you could assume we won. I mean, guys are back to work, man, they're grinding, they're on the tape, they're going out to practice, compete, and they believed that the next game was the one. The next game was the one.
Goff from the gun to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown.
The success he had late, it all came from that. I give him all the credit in the world that he stayed the course, and he played good football last half of the season.
First down pass. It is caught.
I love how the season ended, but, the reality is we won 3 games, and that's not good enough, and it never will be.
Hey, good luck, man.
Good playing, man. All right? Thank you. Yes, sir.
Keep playing ball.
Loft one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down. Touchdown.
If you're Matthew Stafford, you love the fact that Sean McVay made a big bet on you. And he's rewarding him so far.
Right.
It's one down. Now he gets to go up against the GOAT. That's a big-time challenge. And against a defense that's pretty ferocious.
I want to go back to the divisional round.
Akers. Oh, lost the ball! And the Buccaneers. Brady's going to hand it off. It's Fournette. He's going to take it to the end zone.
You stepping on the field with 42 seconds left and knowing that you can seal the game.
I feel like I've had those opportunities a lot in Detroit to win those football games. This one just happened to, be on a national stage in a playoff game that just means a lot.
Stafford, deep downfield. He's got Cup again. Clock running down. They have time. Rams getting set. He spikes it there, and Matt Gay will come in and try.
It's got to be the top of the list of favorite comebacks I've had, that on the road in a tough environment against probably the best quarterback to ever play the game.
Matt Gay boots it through.
Second and 11. Garoppolo, end zone. Kittle, touchdown 49ers.
Down 10, going in the fourth quarter.
We'll toss back to Stafford, and now a throw to Blanton, the tight end. They're down and 1. Stafford, end zone, Cup, got it, touchdown Rams.
As a quarterback, that's what you live for. A chance to go help your team, move on in this case, and win a big game, move on to the next round.
Still rumbling. Cup down to the 12. He's got it. Rams are on top. Donald got there in the air, intercepted by the Rams, and they may ride to the Super Bowl on that.
And the run game just continues to falter here. You don't have the receivers you're used to. Your running game's not working.
6:13 to go, 4-point game. Rams start from the 21-yard line.
Win the fourth and get what we came here for. Let's go.
4th and 1. Cup. He's going to get it. And more to the 37. Stafford surveying. Straight drop. Fires. Caught. Cup. Under 4 minutes and the clock rolling.
Hey, one play at a time. Let's go get this thing done, baby. Let's go. Come on.
Stafford caught on the run. Cup. Who else?
It's not like I caught the snap and we're like, I'm not going to look on this play. It happens organically, and it's for a reason. A lot of hours, a lot of trust going into that. You look back on it and go, what the hell was I thinking? But
now with 1:29 remaining in regulation in Super Bowl 56.
2nd and goal. Pass. Cup. Got it. Touchdown.
It's 4th and 1 for the Bengals in Super Bowl 56. Shotgun snap low, picks it up. Here comes Donald, and he spins Burrow around, who then tried to throw it away. The Rams are going to win it. The star-studded Los Angeles Rams are a hit. They have won Super Bowl 56.
What was that feeling like watching them? You left, they keep winning, they win a Super Bowl.
It was conflicting because I was so close to so many of those players, and I wanted a lot of them to do good, but at the same time, there's that deep down part of you that's like, man, I don't want them to win without me. In 2022, we were 1-6. It felt like, we just kept finding new ways to lose the game. We were not playing bad football. I think people who are really watching the games, we were in every game. We were playing good ball. We were certainly scoring a bunch on offense. In that fourth quarter with 5 minutes left, we just wouldn't make that play. We wouldn't make that throw, that catch, that play on defense, whatever it may be. And I think once we did it once, it was like a light bulb went off.
Who's airing it out deep for DJ Chark. He hangs on.
From then on, we just kept stringing them together, and it seemed like at that point, then you get hot and you're like, man, we can't miss, and that's when it's really fun. And things just, sure enough, started rolling a little bit, up, and we went like 8-2 to finish that year, and I was playing pretty well. I think I went, I don't know, like 10 games without an interception or something like that, and like it just, the momentum started to build. 2022, we were able to like kind of turn it around a little bit, kind of when I first saw the stadium kind of flip, and like, oh, this is what it could be like if we kept winning and kept making plays. And
the last 9 games, you were 209 for 306, 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, no picks. After starting 1-7, right? You were 5th in touchdowns, 5th in QBR, 6th in yards, 7th in passer rating, right? You're 1-7, then you finished 7-2.
Goff for the end zone, catch made. That's a touchdown. Abad-Ra St. Brown.
I want to give the Lions credit. I like Dinkin. I like him a lot. They've got some athletes on their squad. They got some guys who can go after it. They don't play like a team under 500. They go after it. They don't play cautiously per se. They go out there, Dougie, trying to win.
Absolutely.
And I give them a lot of credit for that.
Goff to the end zone. Touchdown, Reynolds.
Your first year out here, you win the Super Bowl, but after that, it got a little rocky. That next year wasn't real good. You were banged up. I can remember seeing you in the offseason. There was concern about your elbow. And I'm like, is he going to keep playing?
Yeah, it felt like when you were going through your elbow injury, when you were trying to gut it out for a little bit, like you had some weird games where you had to like throw it weird.
I was in a bad spot. 22 was tough as far as the ability to go out there and execute. 22 was a year that I learned a lot about myself, this organization, our team, everybody. It was a tough year. I was banged up. Our team was banged up. We didn't play good enough football. It was tough, and a lot of soul searching in that off season. I think the biggest thing for me is I just had a long, healthy off season. I just want to be able to do everything that I was asked to do at as high level as I possibly can.
Stafford throws. There he is. Nakua to the end zone. Rams win.
Super Bowl upside. The Rams have shown you over the course of the last 6 weeks that this team is good enough to win 3 consecutive playoff games. The Rams had a tough start to the season, has been as good as anyone as of late, what they have looked like over their last 6 and what they've done since Stafford came back from the injury. They're 5-1. The one loss is in overtime against one of the best teams in the league. They, offensively, they are a top 5 team.
Over Nakua on the run, turns on the afterburners, touchdown.
They have an excellent coach. I believe they have right now, this moment, the second best quarterback in the conference, second only to Dak. They have a healthy quarterback who's playing excellent.
In trouble, lets it go, it's a touchdown.
We knew you had a ridiculous amount of success in Detroit, but it kind of feels like LA is like you kind of made it home, or at least on the football field, man.
The system that we run has challenged me in every single way that you can be challenged as a player, whether that's getting on the move or doing some things that I didn't do a whole lot of when I was in Detroit. I'm constantly challenged, which is a lot of fun. It's difficult, but it's a lot of fun.
I'm telling you right now, if the Rams in the first round play Detroit, I like their chances.
Oh, flea flicker. He's got a man. Goff loading up. Khalif Raymond. He's got it. Touchdown, Detroit.
I'll say this about Jared Goff. He went to Detroit to die.
Yeah,
they sent him off to Detroit to die. Detroit has always been places where careers go to diminish. The fact that he's been able to change the narrative from the pretenders of the NFC North to now the NFC North contenders.
So then what did Goff do? Just put his blinders on, trusted that Dan Campbell and the boys were going to get the right pieces, and now he's top 5 quarterback in the NFL, top 6 quarterback in the NFL.
Over the top they go, and it's a touchdown. Brock Wright.
It's something that he doesn't get a lot of credit, as he should, because that team is now built around him. It took time.
Because I thought it was going to be 2 years and done for Goff in Detroit. And now they're talking about contract extension, and maybe he can grow into the guy that makes the big throw in the big spot.
I feel like Jared Goff has gone from one of the more overrated players in the NFL to one of the more underrated
and maybe underappreciated. And it's time people, I think, recognize that around the league.
They've matched the franchise record with 12 wins. Another box checked. What is next for Dan Campbell and the Lions? They head to the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, where they'll look for their first playoff win since 1991.
How tough was it to go back to Detroit?
I would be not human if I wasn't feeling some of those emotions, even like the week of practice, thinking about it. You know, people are like, "Oh, they're going to give you an ovation or a video on the board." I'm like, guys, I know what I'm about to get from these people.
Yeah, come on, bring it. Yeah.
It meant a lot. It was tough. And then when I walked into the stadium, I definitely felt it.
What's going to be overlooked in all this, because we're going to be so smitten with Stafford going back to Detroit, this is Jared Goff's chance. To stick it to the guy.
That's right.
That rolled him out onto the curb like a trash can.
It was certainly, there was emotions with it, and that was the battle for me, was to kind of fight those and focus on what was important. And that became easy really when I just thought about like what that game meant to this city. Sure, it was important for me, and there was a lot of storylines for myself, but we haven't won a playoff game in 30-something years.
But once the ball was set, man, it was time to go.
Then Skoranek in motion. Stafford gets rid of it quick. It's down for Goff. Play action. Middle shot is caught. On the run. Terrific hands by Josh Reynolds. Right back to Montgomery. To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. You're the 3. Goff strokes it in the middle. Reynolds is on fire. Gibbs up the middle to the end zone. Another Detroit touchdown. Aaron Williams up to protect. Pressure comes. Stafford gets rid of it and completes it. What a throw to the 40.
Let's go. Bring that.
Stafford trying to Nakua, who's open down the sideline. He's got it. Nakua inside the 10. Finishes the run with a touchdown. 4th and a long yard. 2 for the touchdown. Goff looking to throw. Throws back in the end zone. Laporta. Touchdown Detroit again. Stafford throws. It's caught. What a throw to Tutu out low. Bye-bye Tutu. Touchdown Rams. Jared Goff, a terrific start in his return to Detroit. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdowns. It has not been explosive. The offense has been quieted in this second half.
Matthew Stafford, who's in his huddle down 1. He's got 44 game-winning drives, and this is how his reputation was made.
3rd and 14. Stafford steps up, throws inside. Nakua incomplete with a ton of contact. No call and 4th down.
They give it back to Jared Goff, who has a chance to get a bit of payback.
Jared, everybody makes such a big deal about your coach believing in you. They've got 1 timeout left. It's a 2nd down, and if you throw it and get a 1st down, it's game over. When that call comes in, what's your reaction?
Let's go, baby.
Jared Goff in the line. 3 and 5. Goff's going to throw, and it's caught by St. Brown for a 1st down. And Detroit, for the first time in 32 years, your Lions have won a playoff game. Have at it.
You once helped us, OB, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Keep going.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey, good luck, man. You got your ball. Keep it going.
There comes a point at the end of the seasons where it's like, I don't know how many more years I'm going to get to do this. How long can I continue to play at a high level? How long can I be healthy? Can we be successful as a team?
Hopefully convince him to keep playing, because he's like a fine wine. He's just getting better with age.
I'll just say it like this, all right? Hey, you're good enough for Detroit, Jared.
Jared looks, Jared throws right side. It is caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Amon-Ra St. Brown!
What Goff did was not get pressured and deal. He did a wonderful job against Tampa Bay and has continued to show this postseason, if you can't get pressure on him, he is going to carve you up.
You think about the dark times there early on in 2021. You know, it's pretty good to be able to sit up here and be able to play in the NFC Championship, and yeah, it feels good.
And there it is. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
This may have been our only shot. Do I think that? No. Do I believe that? No. However, I know how hard it is to get here. So it's hard. You want to make the most of every opportunity, and we had an opportunity, and we just couldn't close it out. It stings.
When he's protected and he has his weapons out there, there's not many quarterbacks that can play at the level of Matthew Stafford.
Stafford going deep downfield, and he's got Nakua to the 16-yard line.
Stafford's on fire right now. It's so hard to bet against him. And especially when he's got Puka Nakua last week, 12 catches for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Blitz. Stafford sees it. Nakua gets a block. He might go. Nakua scores. Touchdown Rams.
I mean, I say this every year. It's one of the most gifted arms in the history of football. It's a Hall of Fame arm. It's special. It is.
Stafford over his last 7. 6-1, 11 touchdowns, just 1 interception.
If you play 3 or 4 more years, you're going to be top 5 passing yards, top 10 touchdowns.
3rd down and 9. Stafford, Kupp. He makes a spinning grab.
It is worth reminding people how good Matthew Stafford was. The credit goes to the defense, certainly, but I don't want to leave this without saying Stafford was amazing. And if he can keep that up, I don't know, watch out for this team in the playoffs.
Rams won every phase tonight. And the Vikings falter at the finish line at the end of a 14-win season.
Jared Goff is playing as well, if not better, than anybody else in the league right now.
He's going to take off, and Jared Goff gets a first down.
The one in the last 6 games, you guys have scored 28 touchdowns and you've only had 24 incompletions. I've never heard anything like that.
And last night was the best we've seen, really, him or any other quarterback play statistically and just overall. 18 for 18 for nearly 300 yards.
They have the most efficient quarterback in the NFL right now. 3 incompletions, 12 of 15, 3 touchdowns.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff. Touchdown Lions.
I believe the Lions are far and away the best team in football. They have beaten the hell out of a bunch of teams.
His ability to stand in the pocket with pressure around him and still deliver the ball. He's an aggressive decision maker, and within being an aggressive decision maker, he takes care of the football. And that's a rare talent. There's a fine line there and a gift and an artistry about that, and that's where Jared Goff is a completely different player.
I think I've just been playing disciplined football. I really have, and just trying to do my job and take care of the ball. Our guys are catching the ball, we're protecting well. I'm finding guys open, making some good throws, and it's been good.
Goff loading up, going deep down the far side of the field, and it is caught! What a catch by Tim Patrick! The Detroit Lions' best season ever ends with an exclamation point. Win 15, they're the #1 seed.
Stafford was amazing. And if he can keep that up, I don't know, watch out for this team in the playoffs.
It's going to be a big challenge for us. We're going to be at their place. It's a tough place to play. We're going to have to go handle our business and play a really solid football game. And
118 yards and adding to it. There goes Barkley. He's hit another home run against the Rams. And this one might send them to the championship game.
The fact that the Rams kept it close, tip of the cap to those guys, because I really do believe they need about 4 to 5 more players to beat a team like Philadelphia. But the Rams had a shot.
Stafford in the middle, caught for the touchdown. And it's a 1-score game for the Rams.
On a short week, in the snow.
And the Rams are going to get the ball back with a chance. Stafford shakes the shoulders, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nakua. He pinned it on his shoulder and made the catch.
After that Puka Nakua catch down the sidelines, they had a chance to win this game.
He put us in a position to be able to win that football game, and that's who he is, and I'm not at all surprised.
Are the Rams going to pull it out? And Jalen Carter sealed it on defense.
Stafford in trouble. He's sacked. Brought down by Jalen Carter.
us Philadelphia to the championship game.
We all had the expectation with him leading the way that we were going to win that game, and he did his part to put us in a position to be able to do that.
The Detroit Lions, best season ever. They're the #1 seed.
Now they're in a position where #1 seed, they had a great year last year. They're supposed to go to the Super Bowl in their mind this season.
I think last year, before we had won our first playoff game in 30 years, there was like, hey, we need to get into the playoffs and win the playoff game. We do know we are capable of more. Get in the dance, win a playoff game, certainly control your home destiny, and then win a Super Bowl. And we'll be extremely disappointed if we're unable to accomplish either of those goals.
Here's Goff in trouble. Ball is out. It's recovered by the Commanders. Second down. Robinson up the middle. Touchdown, Washington. And they're in front. Pressure. In trouble. Throw. Oh! He caught it. Touchdown, Laporta. Roll far side. Get it out there to McLaurin. Breaks through. Terry McLaurin. Foot race. McLaurin is going to win. Touchdown, Washington. Goff, some pressure again, lets it fly high. It's intercepted, picked off by Quan Morton. Morton with some blocks, inside the 20, still going. Morton, pick six.
I'll be the first to say, I know I didn't play well enough to give us a chance to win. And had I played better, would we have won? I don't know, potentially, probably. And that's the part that just eats you alive every night.
Look at this trickery. Jamison Williams has it. Look at the throw. Going to throw it downfield. Intercepted.
You're off a little bit. You don't have your best day, and you're kind of just everything's just a little bit off. You can't quite figure out why, and then it's over.
And Washington will be going to the NFC Championship for the first time in 33 years. The 1 seed goes down. The Commanders on their way to the championship game.
And you're kind of like waiting for what the lesson in it is, because there will be one. As you go, you'll learn what that is. But right now, I don't know. It sucked.
Let's not forget about this. When we talk about an MVP, I'm going to say you better not forget about Matthew Stafford.
Going deep down the field. He's got it!
Have you ever played better than you're playing right now?
I mean, the numbers would tell you no.
21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions with 113 rating.
But I've never had probably as much fun as I've had right now. And I think that's because of the players on our team. We got characters, we got great players, we got all-timers. I mean, it's a fun group.
Stafford looking deep. Far side, Adams goes up and gets it.
I don't want to put him in a class with Tom, but it's reminiscent of Brady, where it just keeps getting better and better and better. Gotten smarter, he understands more, he knows how to use weapons, maybe just a split second quicker. He's a little harder to fool, and something you might have got him with a couple years ago, you're not going to get him with now.
His last 5 games, 16 touchdowns, no picks. He is just on an absolute heater.
Into the end zone, Devontae Adams with the touchdown.
Look at him.
And the 96. See ya.
But he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't turn the football over. He understands moments in the game where he needs to what he needs to do.
The numbers and the stats that you are putting up, you lead the league in passing yards, touchdowns 40, passer rating of 112.1. What are you doing? What's happening around you?
I missed a lot of training camp this year with a back, and it kind of re-sparked my love for the game. You sit there and, am I going to be able to get back out there? It was touch and go for a little bit, and it was like watching practice was just gutting me. And I'm like, if watching practice is gutting me, that's a good thing. That lets me know how I feel about this game. And I knew we were going to, have a chance to be a good football team.
Stafford's got a man. He's got a touchdown, the rookie Ferguson.
The 2025 AP Most Valuable Player is
the great Matthew Stafford.
I do believe this is a good team with a really, really talented group, and we just some weeks didn't show up like we wanted. The trade was the best thing that ever happened to me. Our fan base is so great, and Dan and our staff and the players and everything. It's the best thing that ever happened to my career.
My family loves it here. I love playing here. The brand of football fits my style. I love going to work and playing in front of the fans. It's a blast.
If you're going to grade that trade, win-win?
It kind of worked out for both sides there.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our videos.